What is up, everyone? It is Dreeked here and coming at you with another arena video. And today we're going to be going over something pretty insane that I discovered from a friend. And before I get right into the team, I'm just going to let you know that I do have a Discord server, which is linked right down below. So if you'd like to join that, please join up. And also, all credits in this video go straight to ND Runner. I'm just simply translating his build so it's easier to understand. And let's just get right into it. So here's the team. You know, it looks a little bit different from ND's because obviously I'm using the necklace. Is because I tweaked it for my own liking. You know, his team wasn't really beating most of the 1-2-2 comps out there that use PVA. So I just decided to, go out on a limb. So what this team beats, you got to look out for when you're fighting 1-2-2s. It beats 1-2-2s, but not with the insignia, with this, the Hollyberry and Royal necklace. So this is going to be the first team I'm testing it out on. But first, let's get right into the toppings. So Stormbringer is actually be using full apple jelly here. You want around like the highest cooldown you can get, like damage resist, cooldown, and crit. She doesn't really need, she needs 80% crit. That's a must because the survival rate, and a full cooldown biscuit. If you can't really get to 30 or 29 to 30 cooldown, you can sub out a crit for a Choco. Make sure you get to that 29-30 cooldown area, just so, she does her skill, zaps the shield away from Pure Vanilla Awakened. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Stormbringer. Now for Elderfairy, he's actually running Peanuts. Why Peanuts? Because of his skill. His damage is based on max HP. So you actually may be wondering, why does Elderfairy need the 2 lines of HP? Why can't I just run a full damage resist biscuit? Because, he's a tank. That's actually because of something called Prism Shard. And it states like this. If Elderfairy has the biscuit HP upgrade, he can apply Prism Shards to more allies. Using a Prism Shard charge will heal the target's HP for a certain amount of time. Unlike other cookies, White Lily Cookie will gain 2 Prism Shards, although she's not used. It's on for 12 seconds, which is the amount of his cooldown. It negates all damage exceeding 10% of Cookie's max HP at the expense of a charge, which is crazy. HP healing is 2.0% of max HP every 1 second for 5 seconds. Everyone needs that on the team. Everyone's HP is pretty big. Damage resist plus 15% for 12 seconds stacks up to once, and passive damage resist plus 20% for 15 seconds when receiving debuffs. That's why you need to get him targeted up. That's why you need 2 HP lines, because the HP toppings don't matter. That's just because of the build. The HP lines, you need them to make sure everyone gets it applied with the Prism Shard buff. That's so everyone can actually survive, and so no one is missing out on the buff and then instantly dies. That's the most important part about Elderfairy. So due to that, he will be surviving more because of, the biscuit that he has on, the 2 HP 2 TR. That HP will stack up to 123% of his max HP, which leaves him with 1.3 million HP, which is kind of crazy. Also with the arena buff as well, that buffs your max HP all the way up. And then for, just want like 41% damage resist, make sure you get like 20% on toppings, and make sure you have like quite a bit on the biscuit as well. That's pretty important. He is going to be actually getting targeted first because I don't know why, but all right, let's get right into Shadow Milk now. So Shadow Milk, same build as the previous video, but I'm actually, you know what? I'll use this just for the sake of consistency. I'm using full damage resist bypass, not the 1 cooldown, because I know most of you do not have a biscuit like this. So I'm just going to be using this to showcase the comp, and I'll show you that it actually just does work exactly the same. So damage resist, cooldown, attack, same toppings from my other video. You want to make sure you have 25% minimum damage resist, and for biscuit you want to have 50% minimum damage resist bypass, because damage resist is now becoming insanely high and you need to get more of it, more bypass, to bypass all of the gain damage resist. So now for golden cheese, it's just going to be attack here. Attack with bypass. You want to have full damage resist bypass biscuit. You want to have 25 damage resist. You want to have like 8 to 9 cooldown, and then stack the rest for attack. Have about 50% on the biscuit for damage resist bypass, and yep. Now for Pure Vanilla Awakened, you're going to want to use the same build that I showcased in my video. You're going to want to use 50 damage resist, 15 cooldown. You want to make sure you have that line all set up. Make sure 35 cooldown right there. You get the 20% from the damage resist, and the 15% makes it 35. So let's get right into, building a team. All right, so the comps you're going to want to look out for when you are using this team is mainly the comps that have the Hollyberry Royal necklace, and especially this one, it's just painting a fat target on the head, which is Coral, and I'm going to show you exactly why. Stormbringer is going to be dispelling Coral's shield and Pure Vanilla Awakened's shield as well. Now the Dark Cow's not being used, so Stormbringer can actually live longer due to her crit not being disabled. Elderfairy, come on. Targeted again, and that's good. You want Elderfairy to die off and Pure Vanilla Awakened revive. Very important. I don't know why, but the most consistency I've seen is when an Elderberry is taking that revive. So if you do need to adjust his toppings, oh, I forgot to go into the stats. I'll do it for the next comp. Whoops. If you do need to adjust his toppings to make it so he has lower HP, lower. Well, I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue for you guys, but if you God forbid you need to lower your stats, do so as well. So you make sure he gets attacked first. Okay, so this is going to be another 1-2-2 comp with the necklace. Another thing that you want to attack, but Crimson Coral is not there. Or, nope, it's Elderberry. So, let's see how this works. Same amount of this cooldown. Make sure Elderberry is getting targeted again. That's very good. He's pretty low. Golden Cheese gets targeted and revives. Okay, Elderberry is going to take the revive here, which is very, very, very good. Lives. There you go. So when Elderberry takes the revive, you pretty much know that you won. That is because, you know, when he dies, he comes back, does his taunt skill one more time, applies the Prism Shard buff, maybe double. Possibly double. Actually, no, it doesn't do double because it's in the skill description. It says only stacks up to once. But yeah. So now we're looking in the stats page. You might be wondering, oh, how did I win? Because the enemy Shadow Milk did more than double the amount of damage that mine did. All right, so let me tell you why. So the reason why is because your HP shield is absorbing their damage and inflating their numbers. The necklace is making sure that everything is inflated on their side besides the healing. But on our side, the healing, you know, insane, 42 million healing. But the damage is pretty mediocre compared to theirs, but we still win because the HP shield on their side is getting dispelled. That is the most important part. All right, so let's hit another comp. We'll hit these two right here. So this one's actually going to be using the insignia. You do want to be careful about that, but you can still go in. I'll show you exactly why. Okay, so it is a Crimson Coral with insignia. So that is going to be pretty safe. Because your Elderberry should be getting targeted most of the time. See the taunt buff? Make sure he has that. And there goes Elderberry. Right before Golden Cheese gets revived, which is pretty good as well. Come back. Oh. This is why the insignia is risky. Because you never know what could happen. Alright. Shadow Milk. I'm going to kill off Stormbringer here. Alright, that's why insignia is risky. Because you can lead it down to that scenario down there that just played out. Make sure, wow, okay, same damage inflation numbers here, but just make sure you're careful when fighting insignias. Make sure the insignia is a little bit lower promoted than you. That's why I fought it, because, you know, 4A, 5 stars, 5 stars. It was a little bit lower promoted than what I was. So I ended up fighting it, and it was very, very close, even though the stars are pretty close. So it was very, very close. Just be careful when you're fighting higher promotions with the insignia. You probably will end up losing. I just got pretty lucky here. So yeah, that's another thing you want to look out for. So lastly, this is a comp that you do want to avoid. It's a 2-1-2 comp. You do not want to hit any 2-1-2 comps with this. It's an Elderberry 1-2-2 counter to that in my other video. So to close out the video, I'm going to be hitting this comp right here. It's another necklace. So let's see it. It is a coral. So 1 second Shadow Milk into Elderberry into everyone else. Elderberry is going to be living a bit longer now. Takes the revive, which is very good. As long as he takes the revive, you should be winning. The Golden Cheese gets revived. Then the damage really starts to pour out. Should. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. That should be a win. So it was pretty close, but still ended up squeaking out the win here. So let's look at the stats. Pretty similar promotions to what I have. That 5A Coral definitely was a pain. The damage inflation is there. Just because your Stormbringer is doing like 5-6 million, and then the enemy Wind Archer is doing 43 million, which is crazy, and then 48 million for Shadow Milk, it doesn't really matter that much. They are hitting your HP shield. As I said before, they are hitting your HP shield, and that's just not, it's just not actually hitting your actual HP unless your cookies are actually dying, which is happening, to me at least. You really want to make sure that you're careful as well when promotions come around, because, you know, I'm all maxed out. I really don't have to care about promotions, but assuming the viewers, you guys are not, so you have to be extra careful about about the promotions. So let's actually get right into the comp review now that I've, showcased everything that you should and shouldn't fight. So, all right, let's get right into it. Stormbringer, I'm going to do priority first. You want to get the priority 20% damage resist minimum. You want to get the 80 crit. Then you want to focus all cooldown after that. For Elder Fairy, you want to focus damage resist. Well, on the HP toppings, you want 20% damage resist and then some HP substats as well. You absolutely need the 2 lines of HP, which I explained earlier in the video, why you need that. All right, that's an Elder Fairy review. So now Shadow Milk, you're going to want the 25% damage resist, then stack up cooldown, and then with any leftover substats you can, put on attack and crit. Make sure that you do have 4 damage resist bypass. You could honestly run this, which if you want to try it out, if you have this biscuit, I don't recommend rolling for it, but if you have this biscuit, use it, try it out, but I do recommend using the 4x damage resist bypass. Now for Golden Cheese, same thing, 4x bypass. Priorities you're going to want to do damage resist first, then cooldown, and then attack. My toppings are just perfect. I do not think your toppings are going to look like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now for Pure Vanilla, you're going to want to prioritize the 50% damage resist, then the cooldown. You need the 50 DR so he actually does live. And toppings, the reason why I'm not using resonant toppings is because the resonant toppings that I have not built them up yet. That is just a set for Beast Raid, which I was tinkering with, Awaken Pure Vanilla a little bit. Yeah, so Awaken Pure Vanilla, you can use normal toppings if they're good enough. You just need to make sure you have 2 of each. If you can get 3 in 1, 3 damage resist, 1 cooldown, and run full rasp, that is also amazing. Make sure you can do that as well. But you really only need 50% damage resist, 15% cooldown, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this arena team. So thank you guys for actually watching the video, and if you've made it this far, as usual, comment Stormbringer in all caps, and I will make sure to respond to your comment. And without further ado, have fun fighting in the arena and be careful when you hit higher promotions. Bye-bye.